How's it going, guys? It is Fake Thriller, and today I'm bringing you a newer type of video, something you haven't seen on this channel before, where I'm going to take you through a gameplay that I had and sort of talk about my decisions during the game and why I did what I did and why I thought it was the right idea. So today we are playing a little unconventional. We're going with Fizz in the jungle. Now, just to get it out of the way, my runes are Armor Pen for reds and AP Quints, and then the rest blue are Scaling Magic Resist and yellow for yellow armor. So I don't normally change my yellow armor and my blue Scaling Magic Resist, so I really only ever have to think about my reds or my Quints. Now, the first thing, I haven't played Fizz in the jungle in a long time, but one thing that I do remember from when I used to play him way back when was that if you don't get a good leash in the very beginning on your blue, you're gonna have such a hard time because I honestly think the blue could kill you if you didn't have any help. Even if you used Smite, it can come pretty damn close to killing you because Fizz is pretty darn squishy. Now, what I did, the thinking here was show up at level 3 with double buff and try and push somebody around. Since I have all 3 of my abilities, Fizz gets pretty bursty, and that's what this whole game plan revolves around, is Fizz's ability to burst down somebody really fast, because he doesn't have any CC, and you're not going to be able to gank people and get them to just stay in lane. So I go up top, I hit Garen once, but it wasn't that good because positioning wasn't the best. And then here Malzahar is pushed up a little bit on Anivia, so I pop in. I thought I had him lined up perfect. If he didn't flash, we would have got the kill for sure, because Anivia had an attack coming in. But we burned the flash, and that's great. So that's great that I've made an appearance in 2 lanes and have. Oh, here we go. This is a good example of Fizz's weak point. So this is level 3, and I came into this fight with full health, and Olaf is just spending too much time trying to get away from me, and it actually gives me enough time for my cooldowns to reset, and I can use my abilities again. If he had just stood and fought, then I would have died, because Fizz, especially in the early game, he's very, very squishy, and he's very dependent on his abilities to burst enemy champions down. If you get into a slugfest with somebody, for the most part, you're probably going to lose, especially with someone like Olaf. I don't understand, to be perfectly honest, what he was even doing in my jungle. He must have seen me come from top into mid, and then from mid, where else am I going to go? I'm going to go into my jungle. So he should have got the hell out of there. But to be perfectly honest, a close call for me turns into a kill. I burned his flash and I took his buffs, and that's gonna be something that happens to Olaf in this game a couple of times. I felt really bad for him. So when it comes to starting out with Fizz, I go for blue buff first, obviously, because Fizz is super mana intensive, and you can't. If you don't have blue, you're going to waste all your mana on like 2 jungle camps. It's going to take forever for you to get through the jungle without using your abilities. So you want to strong leash at blue, and then I like to take it straight over to the red buff and get my double buffs going. As far as abilities go, when I max my abilities, I pretty much go with my W first, because that gives increased damage, and then the percent chance to burn somebody after hitting. And then after that, I build my E, because you get 1 point in your Q, which is your gap closer and your dash, but it's not a huge damage dealer. It's almost better. Here's an interesting play by my buddy Tim, who's playing as Darius. I think, yeah, I got the kill on Garen. I don't know why Garen would come back in. And then I'm going to stand here and I'm going to dance with Olaf, and he's going to come so close to dying. And I guess I could have tower dove him if I wanted to, but at that point it wasn't worth it. A good way to piss away your lead is to make stupid decisions and dive towers. And going 1 for 1, getting a kill on your opponent but dying yourself for the most part isn't ever worth it. It's not something you really want to do. See, I come back, he gets so low. If I had Ignite, he would have died, but I'm jungling, so I had to take Smite. After that little exchange, I sort of realized I haven't paid bottom any attention, and that's something that I keep in the back of my mind. That'll be where I go when I can. But I've spent so much time in the lanes. I need to get back into my jungle and get some money and some experience under my belt, because Fizz is incredibly dangerous. I'm sure you've all seen what a fed Fizz is like. He's just unstoppable and so bursty that I mean, I don't think anybody can really stand up against him. He has to get so bold and end up killing himself by becoming overconfident if you feed him the right way. But a Fizz that is stuck without the proper farm and without the proper items and eventually the proper build, he ends up just being an AP death giver, basically. Like he just charges in and dies, because if you don't burst people down with Fizz and they're still standing afterwards, they're probably going to kill you, because his cooldowns take a while to refresh. And if you use all your abilities on the cooldown, on the initial attack, you have no way to get away. So that's just something I'm keeping in mind, is that his ganks are pretty good, but in terms of overall gameplay, you need to make sure you get enough farm, and if your ganks aren't being super successful, you need to spend a little bit more time in the jungle. So I actually sped this part up because it's just me doing exactly what I just described, hitting the jungle, getting some creep score up, and remember what I said before about not paying bottom lane any attention. So here I come. Even though it doesn't look like they're necessarily poised for a good gank, I realize we got a Blitzcrank and we got a Fizz, so we can get someone locked down, and then we can get some burst damage out. So I come in from the back and I slip into these bushes. I'm pretty sure they don't see me. And then I'm basically just waiting for a Blitz to get a grab, and there he goes. And even though I seem like I'm really far away, the burstiness of just having 3 champions wail on an ADC is way too much for anyone to expect to get away with. And the great thing about that is we actually burned a Varus ult in his defense. He was trying to get away, and he hit Poppy and Blitz with his ult. Now, what comes up here, you're going to see in the chat that me and Anivia pull off some plays. It's all about baiting. I throw my ult on Olaf. He barely survives. And then Anivia comes in, gets a little bit of a hit on Olaf, and then I come back in. So Anivia gets a kill on Olaf. I come back in, get Malzahar off, distract him for just long enough, troll pole him, and then Anivia comes in, cleans up the kill, even though she was almost dead. And then he was going crazy in the chat. He was going, the plays. I was laughing out loud. I was going, the fucking plays. It's just great when you coordinate so well with somebody that you don't know, for what seems like an epic play, and you guys get away alive. So things are going pretty well. I went back, I bought up, and now I'm back in the jungle just to get my farm up. And now our Darius is going, I think he's a little overextended in the top, and he ends up getting picked up by Garen. And I noticed that Garen's not even falling back, and on top of that, he's going to go hang out next to a bush, and that's just my opportunity. So I just troll pole in, hit him with the dash, and then give him plenty of time to line up the fishy. And I hit him with the ult, and then I just trot away. And then now it's just free farm time. I don't know where Olaf is, but I'm not honestly worried. If Olaf comes up behind me, it's no big deal. And if I can get close enough to this tower to take it down, then we put additional pressure on the enemy team. And my buddy Tim, he was playing in the top lane, and he was actually asking to have this tower pushed down because he was looking to roam around a little bit and get this laning phase over with. So I get the easy creep score, the wave clear, and then I push the tower down and pull away. And now laning phase is over. And it's actually it's a tough time because I'm not where I want to be when it comes to overall Fizz burstiness. Normally you take him in the mid lane, and he you know, he gets his uninterrupted Fizz farm in the mid lane, and he can build his items a lot faster, and he becomes much more dangerous, much quicker. Also, if you can get a couple kills in the mid lane, then that just contributes to that. But I'm nowhere near buying Rabadons or a Zanyas or anything like that, because I can't even. I'm going back and I keep hitting like buying things at the 900 mark, leaving myself with like 350 gold or something like that. Nothing I can buy, and you know, it's kind of awkward, but that's Fizz in the jungle. But things are going great in this game. We have a lead. Anivia is getting fed, which with a good Anivia is always a blessing. And now everybody understands that the laning phase is over now, so everybody actually on the other team decides to pull mid in a little bit, and they're gonna push. They're gonna push some, try and put some pressure on the mid lane, but it's for the most part not gonna work very well at all. So before they add any pressure to the mid lane or anything like that, I start hitting the lanes. There's free farm top because Darius is looking to reinforce the mid because he sees the fight eventually coming. Garen actually pushes out, gets just beaten down by all of us, and at some point Anivia stole double buff from somebody. I'm assuming it was Olaf again, because I think he had his buffs taken 3 different times from him during this game, which is just, I mean, that's a sign of when a game is not going well, is when all your buffs get taken away, and you know you just can't catch up. So here is a good sign of how the game is actually going. Darius comes up and dunks on Malzahar. Malzahar could probably kill him, seeing as how Darius just uses dunkage. He didn't know, obviously, that I was coming up, but, you know, he didn't. And then now we just show off our burstiness here. He got a damn shield up. Anivia comes in, drops that guy. Olaf just gets in the middle of it all and doesn't get away. And then Orianna comes up, and I tried to troll pole over to get to her because I thought we'd be able to burst her down, but it's just utter dominance on our part. Garen comes in trying to be a hero, and at this point, I mean, we engage, but Garen at a certain point in the game just becomes that annoying level of Garen where he just doesn't die unless he plays really dumb, which is something that can be said for someone playing Garen, because if you're playing Garen, then you tend to do dumb things because you can just sprint away afterwards. So I head back to the shop and buy up. Basically, I'm not going to give you a full build in this video because I didn't get anywhere near a full build, but just think AP and think mana. You got mana problems as Fizz, so you want to somehow figure out how you can control that without sacrificing too much burst ability. Usually towards the late game when he gets built, mana is sort of a non-issue because you burst somebody down, they die, and then you're out, and you have plenty of time to regen. But when you're jungling and you got to go hit these camps and you're trying to get good clear times, then that's something you definitely want to pay attention to, is overall mana. And I mean, Lich Bane, I think, is the only item I completed here. And there's a troll pole fail. I was coming over to get the blue buff, and I thought I could jump over those trees. Maybe I just did it wrong. Who knows? So I take the blue buff because Tristana was nice enough to give it to me, farm up a little bit, and basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to get a little bit of farm. There's going to be another quick engagement in the mid, but they pretty much realize that this game is done, and they're waiting for the 20-minute mark. Olaf overextends again. I don't know what's up with people playing Olaf all the time, but Anivia grabs the kill there. At this point, we signal to take Dragon because we might as well take Dragon. What else are we going to do? So I head down, help Trist and Blitz. Just take it because it's something to do. And and that's pretty much the end of the game. You're going to see that they surrender. And but not before they give me the chance to go and embarrass myself a little bit by missing my ult. What I was trying to do here was, I think it was Malzahar was kind of hurt, and he kept trying to poke Anivia down, and I was going to come up and just gank him between the towers. I was going to hit him with my ult. It should have finished him off, but what ended up happening, which you'll see in just a second, is is I pressed R in anticipation of being able to see the guy, but the second he is revealed to me, he actually moves out of the way, and I know I don't have enough time to, reposition and fire, so I just let it go, and it literally fires off in the middle of the lane. Here it goes. Oh, he ran away. Oh, shit. Oh, there goes my ult. It's okay because the game is over anyway. So, guys, that was Fizz in the jungle. Not a legit jungle guide, but just showing you a little bit of gameplay and how it can happen. Hope you liked the video, and I'll see you guys next time.